Welcome back to another episode of Liftoff. I'm joined by my co-host and father, Keith Myers.
Hello.
And I am Derek Myers.
Good to see you, Derek. How's your morning?
Likewise.
How's your morning so far?
It's been splendid. The Dodgers are playing game one as I'm anxious and ready to have us come out with a one-game bang.
For sure.
Get that lead going.
Hey, we titled this episode Real Estate is just not, it's just no fun. The market, it's hard, lowest number of transactions in 20, 30 years since 1995. And population is growing. It's still low transactions. And interest rates went up. The Fed drops their rate by 50 basis points. And mortgage rates go up. Just can't catch a break. You know, and I got some buyers, and I don't get it. And I still get it hard to get offers through. But then they blame me. It's my fault that they want to go 30,000 under when there's multiple offers. But it's tough. They're FHA, and we're competing with cash offers. It's just not fun. And I've tried doing a little bit of cold calling. Someone said, call around your activity. I called around a listing, and God, nobody answers. And if they do, they're like, wake up. It's so mean. So I decided to knock some doors. And all I got was Ring cameras. And then they were yelling at me on the Ring camera. I don't know. This is not fun. Why pick this business?
That's a great question. I mean, can it be fun?
On the other hand, yes, it can. How do we make it fun? How do we make this business fun? How do we come into this profession, a profession that offers no salaries, sick leave, no vacation pay, no 401k, no benefits of any kind, no guarantees, no pensions, none of that. Why do we get into it? And then how do we make it fun? I'm here to tell you. I just bumped into our own David Rothblum the other day, and I'm here to tell you he had bouncing a step and he is having fun. And you know why? The people that are actually having fun here are serving buyers and sellers, helping them achieve the American dream, buying the first home they've ever bought, or moving up, selling their home, moving to a different state or somewhere because they want to do it. And they're having fun serving them. But how did they get there? To the person, they all have strong goals and a plan that will get them there, and then they executed on it every day. As the broker of a multi-office company, I interact with my agents each and every day. And many times I'm problem solving and helping. Sometimes I'm patting on the back, and sometimes I'm giving a hug, metaphorically or sometimes in person, picking somebody up because they're struggling. And there are some people struggling, and they're not having fun. How you turn that into having fun is you need to have success. Success begets happiness. We're all in this life to achieve happiness. We do this business because we like the freedom. We like helping people, but we also like the financial security that it can bring through really hard work, that one can control their destiny in any market and have success. And that success means a lot of things. It makes you feel good. It gives you confidence. And what do you do when you have confidence? You want to go out there and do some more. You want to serve more, make them happy. And it's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
And to your point, like the self-fulfilling prophecy in the other way too. If all you can see is the noise that's going on, if all you can see is the hard work, the grind, feeling like you're only seeing the no, and getting frustrated with things that are outside of our control, whether that's inventory, whether that's the interest rates that are fluctuating, whether that's the adjustment to the new normal post NAR settlement, whatever that might look like. There are always variables outside of anybody's control. But what we can do is focus on each day. Tomorrow doesn't exist. The past doesn't exist. All we have is the present. So how can we win right now? How can we find the fun in now by prioritizing serving the clients in front of us, going above and beyond to our sphere and past clients, finding opportunities to make it fun. Hey, we're around Halloween. Your background's showing it, right? What can we do to make it special? I don't know. Drop off a bag of candy at 20 people's houses in a week and do something different. Make it something to where you stand out, but you show that you care. And that's what's fun about this industry, is that it is such a relationship driven, people oriented business that gives you ability to authentically express yourself. Okay, you're not a cold caller. Who cares? Be yourself and have fun doing it by finding your unique expression. What's a double-edged sword of our industry, you can personally attest to, Dad, is that the freedom has both great responsibility that comes with it and also immense challenge.
Right.
With the freedom, there comes proven strategies, and there comes other ways to innovate and allow for your unique flares and flavor to be put on things. So it's not a cookie cutter. It's not a one size fits all approach. That can feel overwhelming, or that can feel extremely inviting into what's possible. And so draw from other people's success and also say, you know what? Hey, I'm no different than somebody else at XYZ company. I can do this too. And that's what's inspiring when we get to see other people's stories, is that we can see ourselves also lifting off, pun intended, and reaching new heights with our success.
Right.
What would you say to somebody who feels like they're bogged down with not having fun? Going back to what I was saying before, what would you tell an agent of yours
It's not
to how to have fun again?
it's not like anybody. It's a kind of a form of depression that just keeps burying you and gets you deeper and deeper. It starts to overwhelm some people. Some people, they don't get overwhelmed. They eat. I like to think I eat stress for breakfast. It's just, it is what it is. Bring it on. Let's go.
This is true for those of you who don't know my dad personally. This is fact checked live on the
And you
spot.
know, that might be God given. It might be my genetic genome. I don't know. I think part of it is, but part of it's learned, that you just learn that what's your choice. So what I would say is start with the end in mind. Using a baseball kind of a comparison, if you will, you get your baseball uniform on. You need to go back to spring training, or since it's the fall, maybe the fall instructional league, and go right back to the basics. Why are you in this business? Why do you want to be successful? What would it look like in 5, 10, 15, 20, depending on your age? Put a goal way out there. For you, Derek, what's my life look like in 25 years? Be big in those BHAG goals, those big things you want to accomplish. And there's no such thing as greedy goals or that sort of thing. Anything that speaks to you, because I can tell you, a successful person ends up being a happier person and a better member of society. So go back, and I know many of you watching out there, listening, your eyes are glazing over when I talk about setting goals. You've heard it your whole career and probably before, but if you ask yourself to be perfectly honest, you probably don't have them. They're here. I like to have a Porsche Taycan and a house at the beach, but they're just dreams. If you don't have it down in writing and you make them smart, you figure out a plan to get there. And then you need to execute on that. And I highly recommend that you go from there, and then you decide, okay, and then I'm gonna time block. Last time we talked a little bit about the Myers 4-time quadrant plan for success, the me time, the ready time, the go time. Those are the things that really help me to make sure I get more out of my day. Get your things to do, your 5 daily non-negotiables that you have to get done. Hold yourself accountable to have one more call. Make it fun. Make it fun with enjoy your journey and have little rewards for accomplishing what you say, and it'll make it fun. So get those goals, renew why you're in this business, capture the bounce of your step again. And then here's the thing why I think most people don't have fun. They don't make their calls, whether it's to their sphere. We really believe in that core 100, the power of that relationships with 100 people or more that know you, like you, love you, and will use you and refer you. But you have to develop those, and you have to make the contacts. And reason that you're not is you don't know what to say. You don't want to come off too pitchy. So there's a plethora. We won't get into it today. Simple scripts that you can internalize and give that don't sound pitchy or salesy. And when you have that confidence, you'll do that. And if you come from a place of try to help, then you don't feel that way. But those are the things. But then you're going to have to build your stool upon which your goals or your career are going to be upon. And we all should aspire to have a rich, powerful funnel of business for people that we know, past clients, friends, family, all that, our database that we all know about. That's really should be a cornerstone of everybody's business, whether it's your first day in the business or if you're like me, 40 years in the business. But for many people, that's not enough. You need to keep feeding that database by meeting people you don't yet know. Because this I came to know at a very early age. The universe of people that you know is always going to be smaller than the universe of people you don't know. So you want to take from the latter and put into the former. And you do that how? There's a million ways to do it. You can get involved in community activities, coach Little League baseball, volunteer at your church or your synagogue, get involved with the local food pantry, do things like do yoga and do things that you enjoy doing, but let people know who you are. You don't have to be come on strong where they want to run the other way. They're afraid you're going to sales pitch it, but just get those relationships and it'll happen naturally. We have a top agent with us, our coach, Mike Lefton. He's in a BNI group. He's been in it, I think, 12 years. I think there's 40 members. It's breakfast once a week. This year, he has successfully closed escrow on 13 leads and referrals from that group. And here's the thing, it's amazing. They're second generation. Not one of them bought or sold or had a family member. They were all, maybe a family member, they were all referred out. Hey, up to this guy, and I know him from something, he needs to sell his house. I said, hey, you need to call Mike. Here's his number, call him, Mike. So I forget what the dollar amount was that he achieved, but you know your price point. You know how expensive Southern California real estate is. You calculate that out. For some of you, you're not doing 13 deals in a year. 13 more? It's amazing. But my point is, we all have to figure that out. Now, I know some people in our business, and maybe it's yourself, that are really good at what we call cold calling. FISBOs, expires, old expires and cancels around activity. And you're just doing numbers and lots of calls. You get very good at it. That's a grind. That's hard. And I'm not telling you not to do it because it's successful. It will always be. Some of you fashion yourself as farmers. I would challenge you. Would you feel confident for me to randomly call 10 people in your farm and say, do you know who Derek Myers is? And just do some unaided brand awareness to see how them go, oh yeah, he's the local real estate expert. Okay. Great.
It's the best looking lad I've ever laid eyes on.
If you could sell your home, would you choose Derek to sell your home? Oh, absolutely. I'm telling you, you'd be afraid of the answers. Many of them go, Derek Myers plays for the Raiders, doesn't he? No way. He's a bass player for Oingo Boingo. I mean, they're going to go, but no, I've never heard of them. I don't know what it is. Oh, it sounds familiar. Because you're not working your farm. We won't get into it today, but there is still gold in Demnar Hills for a true farmer. Maybe that's your gig and maybe it's not, but you have to choose something. The aforementioned David Rothblum has just admire how he's done he's approaching 20 years in business now. But he struggled around to find his niche. And so around 10, 12, 15 years ago, he started deciding a conscious effort to try to build his business around trust attorneys and probate attorneys. And it's hard, let's be honest. Anything worth getting is hard. Listen, you want to bench press 400 pounds? It ain't going to be easy, especially if you can do 100 today. But there are a lot of things that are hard and attainable, and there's a lot of things that are hard and unattainable. I can no longer slam dunk a basketball, and no matter how much I train, I don't think I'll ever be able to do it again. I had good at one time. But go back to David. So there's people right now that don't know David that maybe came to the company recently and they go, oh, that lucky guy. Yeah, of course he does, because People keep dying, so he's got a guaranteed business, and he's always going to do well because people keep dying. I mean, he's lucky. He's not lucky. Made a conscious effort to go out and build his business around that. By the way, he has a lot of past clients and other thing cooking as well. But he makes a seven-figure income serving people passionately, and he is happy. And is it every day fun? No, but that's what makes real estate even more fun because each day, each transaction is different. Some are smooth and easy, and it's like, and some are a challenge. And that's where we earn our true worth. That's where we serve a tough client, and they don't even know how lucky they are that they have us. But you push through, and you know what? When you get that one done, you pat yourself on the back. You said, you know what? Maybe the next person wouldn't have been able to get this deal closed. So I really served this person, even though they may not appreciate me as much as they should. I know I did a great job.
Every obstacle that you overcome, you're able to then show yourself that my previous bar of what I thought was attainable is now my new floor. My former ceiling is now my new floor.
Yeah.
I remember going through a boot camp myself that you're aware of, where I was pushed to certain metrics of performance that I thought, no way,
Yeah.
not like this can't be possible.
Right.
I pushed myself, and guess what? I did it. And I think that what's empowering about setting goals like that, or having somebody hold you accountable to things that you want to achieve, getting a coach, getting somebody to mentor you, getting someone to appear to give you feedback, to hold your hand through challenges. We all need it. But the point is that when we get to that level, that was formerly our ceiling and now becomes our floor, that's what causes us to continue to have that motivation, is fuel in the tank that keeps us moving forward. Another way of putting it too is when we have a why, it will get us through anyhow.
Exactly.
And yeah, is real estate always fun? No, it's not going to be. And you know from firsthand experience. I know from secondhand experience. But what I do know is the best agents, the ones that are having the most fun, also are able to roll with the punches, be able to hold out for the good, be able to adapt to change, to look for the silver lining in the difficult situations, to know that there's yin and there's yang, there's good and there's bad that comes with things, but to be able to have the mindset that I'm going to find the fun, I'm going to create the fun, I'm going to make things happen and look at this as a new challenge that will eventually become my floor. Those are the ones that continue pressing on, pressing forward, and seeing the people that say, oh, you can't do that. Oh, you can't bust into luxury.
Oh, yeah.
You can't make your way as a commercial agent too. Oh, you can't reach this level of volume.
Yeah.
Let that be motivation. Let that be a way for you to say, you know what, I'm going to prove all those people wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. Right now, I'm reading a book called Never Finished. It's the second book by David Goggins. And I got to tell you, first of all, that cat is bat poop crazy. I don't even hope to aspire to have as much discipline as he does. I mean, his childhood, he grew up and the dad abused them and abused the mom and physically and emotionally in every which way. Ultimately, they left and started their life together. He and his brother and his mom went to a different city. He goes to a Catholic school. He's the only black kid in an all-white school. He stammers, he stutters, he's got ADHD, he's a clown, that's his defense mechanism. Ultimately, he joins the Air Force and wants to be a pararescuer. He busts out of that because he's afraid of the water, and it just was his nemesis. He just couldn't overcome water. And then he was just doing some stupid job at age 24. He blew to 300 pounds. So this dummy joins the Navy, which is wired, and tries to get into the Navy SEALs. So he talked a little bit about when in Hell Week when he had to walk into those waves and it first one hit him and he just thought back and he just went to a place that was so steely driven. His ghosts and his past, he didn't let it overcome him, and he conquered it. And now the guy, he runs Badwater 135. He's run a 240-mile ultra marathon. He does absolutely crazy things. And what I'm drawing from that is that the human can get so much more out of this life that I don't expect you out there to go run an ultra marathon or do any of the things he does. But by seeing what one can do, what I draw from it is we all can do better. And what I get, well, I get more out of life. And why I say that is life is more fun when it's more full for most people. Even introverted people like myself can learn to come out and speak and communicate and speak to people. I just spoke before. We had an event and I spoke before over 250 people. No problem at all. Love it. I eat it up. It's great, but it was hard at first. So you need to give yourself some grace a little bit, right? But you need to be a little hard on yourself that, gosh darn it, I need to push myself through this class season. I need to get more out of it. My family deserves it, deserves better. I deserve better. Heck, my past, present, future clients deserve better. And you really you can do more, but you have to make that decision. So we started this whole podcast talking about real estate is no fun. And if you're getting the style, what we're saying here is it's no fun if you're not having the success you need, if and you deserve or you want. So I want you to take today, as you listen to this, I want you to make some notes. And I want you to commit to yourself and to me that you will take steps today, not tomorrow, not next week, today. It just might be a small step, but take some step towards building your new future. And I don't care if you're my age or Derek's age, been in the business a year or 50 years. It's never too late. I mean, what's the alternative? Live in misery, flunk out, wash out, have to go get an hourly job. Listen, there's no shame in any job. I'm not shaming anybody. Everybody that works, I have a great respect for. Not everybody's going to do what we do, though. But you watching this, I know you got it. I know you can do it. Just by the sheer fact you've taken time out of your life to watch two goofy guys at the 23-minute mark means that you're committed to try to do better and have more success. So we'll get into some more details in episodes, more meat and potatoes, actionable items that you can do that really will move the needle. And how I get these ideas is I still walk in your shoes and do some real estate, but I interact with people that do mega amounts, seven-figure income earners. So stay tuned for that.
And can I just say real quick, to piggyback off what you were saying earlier of carving out some space and really figuring out what you truly want, what is going to drive you, that why, that fire in your belly, having that is so key because that's going to keep you having fun. It's going to keep you anchored when, the waves are turbulent and you're tossed around and you don't know how you're going to make it through stormy times.
Yeah.
When you're anchored by that why and you're anchored by a real vision of what got you into this business to begin with, what's keeping you here, what's keeping you driven, that's going to be ultimately what you can always come back to. Write it down. Have it somewhere that you can be reminded of constantly so that when the times are tough, you could be like, you know what? I'm in this to make the best life for myself and my family. Or I'm in this because I came from a very difficult upbringing and I promised that I would carve a future of success for me to reach heights that I didn't think were possible when I was young, to prove to my childhood self that I deserve a life that I've always dreamed of. Whatever that looks like is unique to each person. But I think, again, being able to spend that time where you're making space for yourself and your thoughts and what's coming up in your heart, that's important. Listen, our lives are not in compartments. We don't exist as various personalities that are, I'm this person in real estate, I'm this person as a father, I'm this person as a whatever it may be.
Right.
We're whole humans. So that means that if you're not taking care of yourself outside of the day-to-day hustle, then that's going to bleed into what you do. People who are experiencing burnout are because they don't have the balance in their lives. They're not doing the things for themselves. They're not taking a vacation. They're not prioritizing, I'm going to get back to this email in the morning, or I'm going to call this person back, or I'll text this person back when I wake up in the morning. Whatever it may be. Having those boundaries, having those practices that keep you going, right? We're not machines, we're not AI, thank God. We have limits. So know your limits and know that when things are tough, hey, it's not going to last forever. The tough times aren't going to last forever, and the good times aren't going to last forever too. So being able to hold that within balance again is such a key to being consistent, giving yourself grace, and fighting through any challenge you come up against. Because again, that's what really is a recipe to continue ongoing.
Enjoy the journey, right? Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's not the destination, it's the journey. I want to be really clear on one last thing, which is not all of you aspire to have a 7-figure income, and that's okay. But some of you do, and some of you should. You really should. Some of you may say, listen, my goal is I want to take 4 good 2-week vacations a year, and I want to work a hard 20 hours a week and make $250 a year. I think that's beautiful. Let me also be clear that if anybody has a goal of less than at least $100,000 a year, I think you need to get out of the business today. Honest to goodness, you're a dabbler. You're not going to be good at what you do. You're going to sell 3 or 4 homes a year, 2 on some years, 5 on others. It's not enough. You got to be an expert. You got to do more transactions of that. But whatever it is, you know what? I hope you find your place, and I hope you find the place where real estate is fun for you. See you next.
I think that's a great way to wrap things up.
Why not?
Make sure that if you're not subscribed to Liftoff, that you do post it, share it with somebody, that if this resonated with you and you know it would resonate with somebody else, text it to them. We really appreciate you watching. We really appreciate you tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Can't wait. Peace.